Probably my favorite part was the last couple weeks before parade, which are always really, really hectic. And my little brother and my dad and I were piddling away at some things, all working as fast as we could. And my granddad came through and brought a really cool old 356B C parts meet and helped us put together some intricate little parts to finish up the car. The most difficult was that usually we start restorations from the disassembly process when the car is not ready. We do a lot of learning and cataloging during that process, but this time around we sort of jumped in halfway through and picked up the car after it had been disassembled by a body shop. So we had drawers and drawers of sections of parts that weren't ready and had to be restored for the car, and to sort of adapt our usual catalog system. It made it kind of tricky. I would say a SC restoration or a late SC coupe is probably one of the more difficult 356s to restore. A couple of times my dad and I were saying about as much time as we would spend on a 911. But what turned out was a really special, really, really authentic car. I think the owners were more excited about being able to drive it down the road than the success of the show. But it's going to be a sweetheart little car. Very paying good tribute to Porsche. Wonderful car to enjoy and drive and not just look beautiful. A great deal of time on this car, not only putting things together, but putting them together the right way. Some of the more difficult parts of this car, not so much mechanical, but the interior bits. Dad and I have spent hours, him more than me, to make all the panels and components fit correctly. And we tried to do things as best as we could to match what it would be like in the factory. So you'll notice there's strip caulk around the edges, and it doesn't look perfect, but it looks very similar to what a period of times would have done. We've made careful care to make all of our cuts in the rubber match angles of what they used to do. A lot of time was spent on the seats and the dash to make it period correct and not necessarily just contour perfect. Restoration is a lot more than just cleaning and making things work. A lot of times you have to make something look a little uglier than it did before to make it look appropriate. We spent a great deal of time perfecting those bits. This car is really unique. It was ordered as a European car, so you can see the color of the front marker lights, as well as a lot of intricate details in the airflow system. And I'll call your attention to these little flapper vents. And all the time we spent restoring these to not only make them look right, but to make them work. And we had replica decals reprinted. You'll notice that you only see one there, or when they were manufactured, they were all laid on the same side, so the other one's on the other side of this one. We also worked with some 3D printing folks and a lot of plastic compounding and UV light treatment to make all the plastics look more authentic. You can still see here, this is actually an original fuse cover. It still has the part number imprintation here, and these very, very tiny little plastic rivets. Usually these are just glued on, but the authentic period of the times use these little plastic rivets to keep this fuse decal in place. And just to show a little extra of the lengths that we went to keep this car very authentic.